Good morning, everybody. It's your man's Ken Jackson, Ken's Morning Coffee. How y'all doing today? All right, so let's break this all down. First of all, let me check and make sure my microphone is working today. I did a whole live stream yesterday, and my mic wasn't working. All right, so anyhow, let's break this down. We're going to go all the way back to January 6th of, what was that, 2020? So, yesterday, Kristi Noem, the Secretary of Homeland Security, or Director, or whatever her position is, they were questioning her on the Hill about officers' right to defend themselves. And the question they asked was, basically, when are officers, authorized to use deadly force? And she basically said, well, it depends on the situation on the ground. And the officers, would have to determine, what their situation is to determine if deadly force would be authorized. So, I want y'all to think about this, because in reference to the murder in Minnesota, or Minneapolis, right? Her president, FBI director, the whole administration, vice president, all these knuckleheads are standing behind this ICE officer, this poorly trained gate guard who has no experience in urban policing, but they want to build him up to be this super professional law enforcement officer, which he's not. But they're all standing behind him as if, he was justified in shooting this woman, claiming that she ran him over with her vehicle, which she didn't. We all saw the video, Believe your lying eyes. Believe what you saw. She did not run this guy over. In fact, his own cell phone video showed that he didn't get run over. Somebody getting run over by a vehicle is going to drop their cell phone, and he's not going to have the wherewithal to draw his weapon as quick as he did and fire 3 shots into her window. I'm just saying. But in any case, they're defending this ICE agent. And it's a little windy out here today. I'll turn this way. So then they showed a video of J6. When Capitol Police were getting their asses beat, they were getting tased, they were getting pepper sprayed, they were getting crushed. I mean, just brutalized. And none of them drew their weapons to shoot anybody. They just held the line as best they could, with their batons and with their shields. Except for the one lady that tried to crawl through the window into the chamber, into the congressional chamber. She got put down, and as far as I'm concerned, that Capitol Police officer was justified because he was defending the Capitol chamber, which they had violently forced their way into the Capitol to get there, and they were chanting, hang Mike Pence, and they were looking for Nancy Pelosi. You all know the story. So in any case, after which Congressman, I forget his name, asked Kristi Noem, so would these officers have been justified, in shooting the J6 rioters, the insurrectionists, because that's what they were? And she had the nerve to say, well, again, it depends on the situation. Now, we all saw the video. We heard the chants. J6 rioters were intending to kill members of Congress because they were upset that Trump didn't win the election. And they were going to stop the certification of the election. They were actively chanting, kill Mike Pence, who was the outgoing vice president at the time. And they were actively hunting, for Nancy Pelosi and other members of Congress. And they were going to do them harm. That was their intent. Now, in my opinion, Capitol Police were highly professional and highly restrained, because had I been there on duty, I think I would have been capping people. I'd have been laying them down. Deadly force was authorized in that situation. But yet, the Capitol Police took a beating. They held the line. And a few of them died, because of their injuries and so forth. And then President Trump pardoned every one of the insurrectionists. All of them. All of them. He pardoned them, called them patriots. They're actually trying to rewrite history now through the Smithsonian. They changed the exhibit that talks about the J6 riots, and he calls them patriots. You can't rewrite history, Mr. Trump. We all saw what happened. We all know what happened. We know what it was. But in any case, in my humble opinion, Capitol Police was authorized to massacre these people. Straight up. And I know a lot of you MAGA knuckleheads are going to disagree, but that's okay. Fuck y'all. I'm so sick of y'all. I'm so tired of the blind cult following that we all have to deal with now, that we're all suffering through now. But anyway, Kristi Noem basically wouldn't defend the Capitol Police, but she's defending this untrained gate guard, as if, he did the country a favor. President Trump is out here calling this woman a professional agitator. This lady was a mother of a 6-year-old. And watching the video from all angles, including the ICE officer's own video, she was clearly trying to drive away. She turned sharply to the right to avoid anyone. And his ass was out of the way. Even when he fired the first shot, he was in no danger of being hit. So it's bullshit, y'all. It's all bullshit. And we got to deal with this bull crap. We have to deal with the fact that we have a rogue administration who's trying to rewrite history, who's trying to establish a full-on autocracy in America. And if we don't stop him, if Congress doesn't get up off their ass, if the Supreme Court doesn't get up off their ass and stop this bullshit, we are going to be done in America. America is going to go away. America is going to be done as we know it. This idiot is talking about attacking a NATO ally. Think about that. He's considering attacking Greenland, a NATO ally. We depend on NATO to hold the line in Europe against Russian aggression. If you're so concerned about U.S. security, how about this? Give Ukraine the weapons that they need to properly defend themselves against the Russians. Get up off your ass, Mr. Trump, and let the Russians and the Chinese know that you will not be expanding your empires into sovereign lands. Because right now, I feel like China's getting ready to bust a move on Taiwan. And if they do, Trump won't do a goddamn thing. Russia isn't looking for peace. Russia wants to own and dominate all of Ukraine. He doesn't want just the land that they've taken. He wants all of it. He wants Ukraine gone. Putin is trying to reestablish the Soviet Union, the Russian Empire. That's his only mission in life. When I served, Putin was a senior KGB officer. These people are trained and conditioned to destroy us and everything about Western culture. You think that narrative has changed for him? Not at all. He wants us gone. The United States is only 250 years old, y'all. China's 5,000 years old. Maybe older. You think they're going anywhere? But Donald Trump wants to be just like Vladimir Putin. He wants to be just like Xi Jinping. He wants to be president forever. Hopefully, some miracle will happen. Maybe he'll get struck the fuck down or something. I don't know, but if there's a God that y'all believe in, y'all better pray that he takes Donald Trump out. Here he is professing to be the president of peace. Remember his campaign? No more wars, no more foreign intervention. But in his first year, he's attacked. I can't even count how many countries. Iran, Yemen, Nigeria. What the fuck you attacking Nigeria for? Obviously Venezuela. Literally entered a sovereign country and kidnapped their president. Doesn't matter whether or not we agree with their government or not. We have no authority or jurisdiction in another country. It's up to the Venezuelan people to take their country back, just like it's up to us Americans to take ours back. In Nigeria, Trump's trying to act like he's the Christian crusader. Christians are being persecuted. No, they're not. Just as many Muslims are being killed as Christians in Nigeria because of Boko Haram. Not ISIS, but Boko Haram. Let's get our groups right now, y'all. All y'all got to do is read a little bit, educate yourselves. And don't get it twisted. I'm not in support of any of these terrorist organizations or radical groups, because these groups also include the Republican Party, sometimes the Democratic Party. We got radicals in every group, and they all need to be dealt with. It's a little cool out here today. But in any case, let me sit my ass down here, because Oh, this wind cuts through you like a knife. But anyway, I know a lot of y'all, I might sound like I'm babbling. I'm just upset and I'm confused. I'm confused as to how so many people can co-sign this bullshit. Hey, Dawn, good morning. I am in Fort Pierce. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here. Hope you're doing well. I watch your show sometimes, and I'm glad to see you still out there doing your thing. Because it was you that got me into this. It's been 17 years, 16 or 17 years, right? Wow. But in any case, y'all, listen. Whether we like it or not, we all live in this country together, and we all got to figure out how to get along. And I can't believe what my eyes are showing me these past few weeks. Because, Donald Trump could have been a good president. He could have been. He could have done the right thing business-wise, but of course, he bankrupted 6 companies, so maybe he couldn't have done the right thing business-wise. A lot of you people who support him have no idea who this man is. I can tell you who the man is because I grew up in the New York metropolitan area. I've been familiar with Donald Trump all of my life. My father was a plumbing and heating contractor. And I can't even tell you the bullshit that went on in those days when I was a kid, throughout the 70s, with basically mafioso rule, unions and corrupt construction companies like the Trump Organization and what they did to small contractors. That shit was horrible. Man, I can tell you all kind of stories. I know, MAGA, you wouldn't believe it, but I don't care if you believe it or not. I lived it. I experienced it. So I know what the Trump organization has done. And not just the Trump organization, but the Kushners too. Jared, his son-in-law. Yeah, their family is huge slumlords in the New York, New Jersey area. They own a lot of trailer parks, a lot of rundown apartments. They built their fortune, on the backs of poor folks. Y'all seem to forget Jared Kushner's daddy was spent some years in prison for fraud and all types of other bullshit. Of course, Trump pardoned him too. Y'all just don't know. And what's crazy is this isn't information that's hidden. It's all public. It's all public. And y'all follow this man as if he's the new incarnation of Jesus Christ. But anyway, I'm sick of all this political bullshit. Let's talk about some fun stuff. Listen, man, we got us an awesome life here in South Florida. Let me tell you, I've been enjoying my retired life so much. I tried to buy a camper a few weeks ago. I got to rework my finances a little bit because they wanted me to get a co-signer. I don't want a co-signer. I had the money. I got the money, to buy the thing, and unfortunately, I just don't have the credit strength right now. I got to take care of a few other things because, my numbers got knocked off, the past 3 years when I, going through the medical issues and shit that I've had to deal with. So there's that. But let me tell y'all, man, retired life is cool. I remember not too long back, watching a video about Life After 60. And this guy, that was doing the video, I forget his name. He sounded so miserable. He sounded so destitute, as if turning 60 was like the worst thing that's ever happened to him. Let me tell y'all something. I'm just happy to be here. I am ecstatic with the fact that I actually made it to 60. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't complaining one bit. I don't make near as much money as I used to, when I was in the music business. But that's okay. I'm living good, y'all. And you can too. The whole thing I've learned about living good is it's a state of mind. And now that I'm older, I realize I don't need as much as I thought I needed when I was younger. In fact, most of the shit that I thought I needed when I was younger was just shit I wanted. I was just like everybody, want to have nice cars and, the big house and all that, and I've been through all that. I've been through all the ups and downs. Listen, I've been through losing it all several times, but I've always found a way to build myself back up. It's not the end of the world when things come crashing down. One thing I learned in the Navy is that when there's a problem, you work it. Work the problem. Work the problem. My senior officers and chiefs, that was the motto. Work the problem. Because every problem has a solution. Everything you could ever go through has an end. So, and it's not the end of the world. I've never personally experienced like deep depression or anything like that. And I feel really bad for people that do go through that. It's something that never registered with me. And I've been near bankruptcy, at one time. I've been, I actually spent some time homeless or houseless, I would say. But I didn't let that stop me. Always got up every day and always worked the problem. And I moved forward. And now I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? And you will be too. You got to be persistent. And most importantly, you got to believe in yourself when nobody else believes in you. That's, in my opinion, is the most important thing. Because if you got a dream or a vision to do something, other people aren't going to see that the same way that you do. And what's really crazy is that people that are miserable in their own lives are going to do everything they can to make you miserable. They don't want to see you get ahead of them. They don't want to see you grow and prosper because they're not growing and prospering. You got to cut them people out of your lives. You got to cut them loose. And that includes family, friends, associates, or whoever. You just have to live your life on your own terms, and determine what's needed for you. And if you got responsibilities, take care of your responsibilities. Like I had to raise 3 kids, and that time raising those 3 kids was I don't even call it a sacrifice. I hear people say all the time, "Oh, I sacrificed so much for my kids." It's not a sacrifice. It's an honor. That's an honor. My greatest accomplishments was my kids. You know what I mean? And because now I got a legacy. I got grandbabies. Let me tell you, man, don't let the things in life that are truly blessings become your burden. I hear so many people, even now, talk about, oh man, if I hadn't had kids, so young or this or that. Listen, shoulda, coulda, woulda. If you hadn't done this, you would have done that. You know what I'm saying? If you hadn't gone left, you would have went right. You can't go back. You can't go back. So you have to play the cards that you're dealt and keep it pushing. I was 30 years old when my first child was born. My son just turned 30 on the 11th, which was a couple days ago. And it's amazing to me to be able to say, I got a 30-year-old child. He's not a child, he's a full-grown man now and doing awesome. And I also have a 27-year-old daughter and a 26-year-old daughter. Oh no, my 28-year-old daughter, I'm sorry, and a 26-year-old daughter. 7-year-old grandson, 5-year-old twin granddaughters, and an 8-month-old granddaughter. Life is good, y'all. It was never a sacrifice. Raising my kids, no matter how hard it got, no matter how stressful it got, I wasn't sacrificing anything. Whatever I had to give to them was my pleasure to give to them. Whatever I had to do for them, it was my pleasure and my honor to do for them. Not a sacrifice. People look at things like that and they're like, oh, my life would have been so different if I did, yeah, it would have been, maybe not. I think about myself, if I hadn't had kids, I might not be here now. That's how I look at it. My kids saved my life, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, in any case, it's all good though, y'all. I don't care what's going on in your life. Y'all gotta wake up with a smile and think about the good things. Think about the good things to come. I know you might have some days where shit just seems dark. You know what I mean? But it's all good if you want it to be. It may not be good right now, but it will be good when it's supposed to be. We have to take life as it comes. The ups, the downs, whatever. We got to deal with it. So, I don't know who needed to hear any of this babble. But for me, I get things off my chest when I get to talk. When I come on and stream live for y'all. Actually, I stream for me. It's my own therapy. But, like I said, if there's something useful in what I say for you, take it and run with it. If anything that I say don't make any damn sense to you and you don't give a shit, hey, then don't mess with it. Live your life. You know what I mean? Just live your life. Because I'm going to live mine, and I'm not letting anybody stop me. I've had a great life thus far. In spite of all the ups and downs. I can't complain about nothing. Nothing at all. There are things that I think about that bother me sometimes, but not to the point where it shuts me down or nothing like that. Like I miss my mom. My mom, she left us far too soon, But I'm fortunate. I still got my dad. And let me tell you, my dad is a tough man to deal with. But you know what? That's my dad. And my dad's always been my hero. Even when I didn't like him that much, that's my dad. You know? I was very fortunate to have my mom and my dad most of my life. You know, so I learned so much from both of them. I still learn stuff from my father, you know? And like I said, he's a hard dude to deal with. But you know what? I love him anyway. You know, my aunties and I didn't have any uncles, you know. I kind of had an uncle. I guess Uncle Ed, you know, even though he was my dad's cousin, you know, he was always an uncle to us growing up. I miss him, most definitely, because me and him used to sit every morning and have our Dunkin' coffee. But we're getting older now, you know, at least my generation. But you youngsters out there, man, enjoy your youth, you know. Stop stressing out about shit you can't control and just live. Just enjoy your life. Smile sometimes. That's one thing I don't see a lot of in the black community is a lot of black folks don't smile. Walking around mean mugging all the time, mad, angry, upset. Why? It takes way too much energy to be upset. It takes way too much energy to be mad and hateful. I think if we, as a people, just learn to smile a little bit more and laugh a little bit more and just kind of, you know, sit back and just forget about the stress of the day, you know, we'd be much happier people, you know, as a whole. I had to learn it the hard way, though. You know, there were times when I didn't think the world was fair. Of course the world's not fair. It's not meant to be. The world is just the world, and it's going to be what it's going to be. We have to find our way through it and understand that our path is set by us, you know? It is. You know, we determine our future. We determine our destiny. You know, no matter what you believe, you know, no matter what it is that you subscribe to, wherever you end up in life is going to be based on the decisions and the choices that you make. You know, so just choose wisely. Even if you make a mistake, learn from your mistakes. But again, don't let the stress of the world become your stress. You don't have to take on that burden. Just focus on you and what you need to deal with and your responsibilities, and I promise you, you will be okay. That's real. All right, y'all. That's enough of my babbling this morning. Thank you all for joining me. Aunt Nita, I see you out there. The weather down here today is cloudy, it's windy, and it's a little bit chilly, just a little bit. But other than that, you know, it's Florida, so, you know, this afternoon all these clouds might go away and be burning hot, you know, so, you know, that's how we living down here. All right, everybody, I'm your man's Ken Jackson. If you haven't, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. www.crazybabytvworld.com is the website. Please visit the site. Check out my blog posts. I got some pretty cool articles on there that you might like, you know. And always remember, it's free. Won't cost you a dime. Because I don't sell shit. I just talk shit. All right, y'all. I will see y'all probably later on today because I'm always trying to do something, you know. So keep watching, log on, check me out. Oh, check me out on TikTok. I need I need like 150 more followers on TikTok to reach 1,000. Once I reach 1,000, a lot of doors open up for me. So hit me up on TikTok. Crazy Baby TV World is the spot. All right? I'm your mans. I'm out. See y'all next time. Peace.